Leon.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I've been trying to get you to do this for 3 years.
I know. I know. You finally got me.
Now, I ain't get you, Ruthie got you. That's what I needed.
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, it's okay. It's all good. Timing is
Got you.
everything.
You're right.
Timing is
You're right.
everything. It's
Because we really need it right now. Yeah.
right. Yeah. Timing is everything. I'm good with that. It's okay. I be just a little, I gotta make sure I'm not too wordy. So you might have to, you know how I get to talking. You see, I look
Yep.
okay
That's why
because
I
I can
said
see you.
you got 1 hour
Yeah.
for the whole thing.
Okay. All right, that's fine. I'm not gonna be that long. I promise.
Hi, Prince.
Hi, Ruthie. Caught me at the right time when you called me too.
I know, right? I'm so excited. And you know what? I was behind and I was like, oh my God, I gotta find somebody. And then I was like, oh, I know who I can call. I'm gonna call the Prince.
That's right.
Yeah, it's good.
Hey,
It's a good
Chuck.
thing.
Hey guys, good afternoon.
How you doing?
I am great. Looking forward to this awesome talk we're going to have today.
You better believe it. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And wait a minute, and I'm never on camera. I'm on camera just for the Prince.
Oh
Ruthie.
man, you're really putting the pressure on me now.
Yeah, you have it, bro.
Yeah.
I had to rush home
And
from
it's
a baby
King.
shower.
It's King like
Hey, Ruthie.
King Leon.
it's King Leon. It's King Leon.
Your Majesty.
Yes.
Hey, Ruthie, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What?
I made you co-host, and I'm gonna also make Chuck co-host, so y'all can let people in. I'm at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, and my signal is choppy, and I don't want to get put in a situation to where I can't let people in because my signal is messed up.
Chuck, you got this.
I got you.
I'm technologically inept.
I got you.
Did you see my text message?
Yes, I did.
Did you see her message?
I did not.
Okay. You need to see her message and my response to her.
Okay.
All right.
I didn't want to overstep my bounds, so.
Well, you the deputy safety officer. You can
right, until I do something
ask for
dumb
forgiveness.
and then I get kicked to the curb.
All right.
Is your car racing today?
No, my car is chilling.
Hey, everybody.
I guess
Hey, Jen.
Hey, Jen.
Who
Hey,
is
Jennifer
Mr. Alan
Jones, how are you?
Williams?
Yes.
Where is Mr. Alan Williams? Who is he?
I'm relatively new. I've only been in NAB for about, I think, less than a year.
Well, welcome aboard.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Alan Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you the gentleman from New York?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I remember now.
All right.
I don't remember a lot, but what can I say?
All right, we're going to get started in 3 more minutes. I'll do the intros. Then I'm going to go black screen. And then, Chuck, anybody else that's coming in, it should say admit on your side. Just admit them. Okay?
Daria is waiting to be admitted.
Yep, I got her.
Okay. Daria, you in?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Daria Torres, how are you?
I'm good. How's everybody?
Great, thank you.
Good. Good. Yeah, I'm good. It's a good day. It's a beautiful day in the city.
I'm looking forward to hearing why I need to carry a torch during the daytime.
That's right. We have
Help
many
assist
stories.
out, so I know.
Rebecca.
Okay.
Is that Rebecca Hunter?
Is this Florida's Rebecca?
We have a moment before
I'm
we start,
California's
right?
Rebecca right now. Hi, Ruthie.
We have a moment before we start, right?
Just
Yeah,
a moment.
1 minute.
Cause I feel like since we have King Leon, we need some intro music. Anybody remember?
Don't worry. He's
Are you
gonna
done with the
fill up
King?
the space with his own music.
Okay, I'm done. I just had to do that. I'm the original.
All right. It is now 5 past the hour. We're just gonna go ahead and get started. My name is Cortland Butts. I am the safety officer for the National Association of Black Scuba Divers. Today for Saturday Scuba Tip and live from Aquacore, we have old school, one of the original, Brother Leon, D. Hammond Sr., presenting to us today. I'm going to ask him 4 questions, and I'm going to just go ahead and let him answer all 4 back to back and go right into his presentation. The questions that we always ask when we're trying to fulfill our STEP objectives. So if y'all remember, Aquacore is about safety, training, education, and professionalism. Us offering these talks covers all of those areas, especially the education part. So, Leon, we'd not like to know, how did you get started in just scuba diving in the first place in general? Also, how did you get started in NABS? Once you got into NABS, what got you into Aquacore? And then finally, what is going to be your topic for the day?
Okay.
Show is yours.
Hello, everybody, family. I've been blessed with the opportunity to talk to you today about me. What got me into diving was actually, I got into diving from a tragedy. A friend of mine had passed away suddenly, and I was in college, and he wouldn't have wanted me to mope around. So I had always seen scuba diving. I'm an old school, so old school people, we know about Sea Hunt, and Sea Hunt was on when I was a child, and that always had that interest. And when I went to the resort, they offered scuba diving, so I tried it, fell in love with it, came back to Philadelphia, and got certified. In the midst of certifying, I found myself the only Black on the boat. One opportunity, and it kind of scared me a little bit because I wasn't quite comfortable with not having a dive buddy. When I was taught you're supposed to have a dive buddy, and the engagement aspects of that is you're supposed to be prepared for, and this is how you do this, and this is how you do that. I went up to our local training facility at the time, was called Dutch Springs, and found the founding members of the Atlantic Rangers Scuba Club, Bob Williams and Tony McNeil. Contacted them, and they offered. I'm the reason why I'm laughing a little bit because they started offering scuba diving online. You could apply online, and I was one of the first persons to ever do that. And I applied online. They accepted my membership, not knowing me, not knowing anything about me, but they accepted my membership. So that was a fun moment. That's what got me into the Atlantic Rangers Scuba Club. And with that, their process was once you become a scuba diver, I was already a scuba diver when I joined the Rangers, but also to be a NABS member. So when I found that out, I joined NABS immediately, and I've been a NABS member ever since. And that was roughly in 2001. So I've been a NABS member for 24 years. I joined Aqua Corps because at the time, Bob Williams was the safety officer for Aqua Corps. And plus, the professionalism I seen with him, Tony McNeil, Chuck Bruce, the late Chuck Bruce, God bless his soul. They were all professionals. They were all part of Aqua Corps. And I understood the value of that because it meant that they were always safe and always protecting of each other. And me being a railroader, I worked for Amtrak for 39 years. That camaraderie and that respect and caring for each other was paramount to me because we had the same thought process. I am my brother's keeper and he is mine, and we always able to maintain that throughout our lives. And I knew scuba diving was inherently had a danger. And that created me saying, I want to help others as I help on my job or what I've done. And it just made sense to be a part of Aqua Corps because that professionalism guaranteed me one thing, that I would be a great diver and I could also care for my brothers and sisters in the scuba world. With that in mind, I've been a dive professional now since 2005 and an instructor since 2014. So I've been able to see the world and blessed with the world and the things and the different inherent challenges of the world. Hence, the topic for the day is diving with a torch. As you can see, even though we go into the Caribbean or anywhere in the Pacific, the water is always, to most of our knowledge, clear. We usually have 50 to 60 to 70 foot visibility. And generally, you might not think to have a torch would be operable in the daylight because you can see. Well, that is mostly true, but there are always the occasion, and that is what we found out is if you came to this last summit in Grenada. Grenada at the time was the rainy season, and I did not know that, but in the water, at the times we were diving in Grenada, and the current between that two of those, the visibility was very challenging. And because of that, I found out and I saw that we weren't doing clear water diving like we always love and always express in the open ocean in the Caribbean, where the seas is, like I said, 50 to 100 foot visibility. It was barely 15, 20 feet, and not even that. It was very cloudy and the current was moving. So I found myself, I always carry two flashlights, one primary and one for backup. And sometimes I bring a third light. Sometimes I'll bring torches that go on my tank, just so I can be seen. If no one sees me, they can see my tank and see it's me. The reason why I do these things is because there are times when, like we were in Grenada, where the visibility wasn't that great, and we got separated from the group of divers we were. At times, I had both of my torches on, one pointing in the direction of where the dive guy was, so he would be able to see me, and one pointing in behind me, so that the people who were behind us, as what they were looking for and doing everything they were doing, and I mean, they're trying to enjoy the dive, could also see me and see which direction to go in, because the visibility wasn't that clear. But I found that even in the clearness, there are areas underneath the coral in wrecks that might not be able to have a good visibility, especially if you're curious of wanting to enter a wreck. You definitely want to have a working torch and a backup. The technology today, I found, it's really, really exciting, because they've gotten to the point where you don't need the big, bulky battery torches that when I first started out, we had the big, bulky 3 battery, 4 battery, heavy lights torches that required a lot. The newer ones are so much more lighter and have more brightness, more luminance. These types today are so small, you can handle them so lightly, and they don't carry a lot of weight, and the batteries are really, really more efficient. They make them now where they have the USB port where you can charge the battery right. Very simple, very easy. The same connection that might connect to your phone connects into these batteries, and these batteries have a great life. And therefore your ability to recharge your light quick and be able to show your lights and they can be seen and you can be seen, is the reason why I dive with them, and even during the daylight hours. My suggestion to everybody is, just like you would have a compass, just like you would have your fins, your mask, a backup mask, snorkel, having a dive light on your dives can also bring you added security for your own safety, as well as security for your dive buddy. If something happens and you get separated from your dive buddy, knowing the signals that you would use if you were diving at night, you can use those same signals during the day. Circle means I'm okay. Side to side means something's wrong. You can use the light to illuminate your gauges on your SPG. That way, if it's in a dark setting, you can see them clearer, and you're able to signal anybody and everybody if you're on surface, and be able to signal your dive buddies under the water. These are my go-to lights. This is what I take with me all the time, everywhere I go. My suggestion is, they're not expensive anymore. You can pick these lights up. The ones I picked these up for $100 each, and they're very light. And I put a tether on them so that I can just put my hand in there, and I have them with me at all times. I tether the other one to my pocket and my BCD, so that if something fails on my primary one, my secondary one will always be available for me to allow me to be seen and or to signal it's time to go up or get together with your buddy. So this is my suggestion for everybody. Always carry your lights. Always make sure you take the battery out of your lights, so that the pressure of the plane does not use it or seal it and makes it harder for you to take the battery out. Always leave it loose. And you can see they have double O-rings in them to protect them. They're very simple, easy. This type has a button that you can use to turn it on, and it indicates whether or not you have how much battery life in it. My backup one is just a simple turn. You just turn it, and you can see it lights up really well, and just turn it just slightly. So you don't want to turn it too much before it's to flood. But they're very simple, easy to work now. and they're very much more adaptable to everything and anything you want to do, and they don't carry no weight. So even when you're packing in your dive bag, because weight limits are important. So the older lights with the heavy batteries went to a couple, 3, 4 extra pounds that you weren't prepared for. The newer style don't require that. So so this is something that I suggest every diver have a light and a backup light. And for 1,000 lumens, you'll be surprised how bright that is, even in the daytime. Especially if you're looking for something like a turtle or a small fish that might be hiding underneath the crevices. In my case, sometimes while I'm hunting for lionfish, they like to hide up under crevices. This light gives me an opportunity to shine under those areas and illuminate them so I can see if there are any there. That's, to me, is an important aspect of. You can always be seen, and that increases your visibility with other divers so that they'll be able to see you and know, oh yeah, that's Leon. Oh yeah, that's Chuck. Oh yeah, that's Cortland. Oh, okay, yeah, I can see them. All right, I'm okay now. I don't have to worry about where the dive guide is if I see that an Aqua Corps member has a light on and showing me the way, which in this case happened in Grenada because we got separated a few times, and I noticed I had people who were more than 20 feet away, and under the water, it seems like an eternity. So that having that comfort to see me and not have to worry about which way to go, the light gave me that option and gave me that security, as well as everybody who was in my dive group, that security. So that's my suggestion. They're very simple enough. A lot of the dive lights are all getting smaller with higher luminance, but you can get priced out of them like anything else. But the two I showed you were $100 in the $100 range, and they both were 750 to 1,000 luminance, and that, believe it or not, is a lot. Now you can go brighter, but then also the cost becomes more. And if you're on a scuba budget, it might not be cost effective to to spend more money on things. And that's why also you need the tether on it so you don't lose them. Because once you've invested in the money on it, you want to make sure you have it to always use when you need to. These are my this is my scuba tip, my reason why I dive with a dive computer. And my dive lights, and everything else. This is a valuable part of my equipment, my dive lights. So that's my suggestion. That's my statement to everybody. The backup lights for if you're in a situation and you might be the only diver and you're diving with somebody you don't know, this is a good idea. These are tank lights that I put on my BCD and on my tank so that I'll be able to be seen. And they say, oh yeah, I see that person. I know who he is. That's the guy who has the lights. And the lights, they can be seen further distance. Even if they don't know it's me, they can see the light. Especially like we experienced in Grenada, where the visibility was bad. I've been referencing Grenada because most of us who were there really can remember how challenging it was to dive with your dive buddy if you got separated a little bit and you didn't have a way of communicating with them, that you're able to talk to them, be able to see them, they be able to see you, and they recognize and know it's you. So these are my tips that I have for diving with a dive light. Again, they're very inexpensive. I got this one from Divers Direct, and this one I bought online. They're really reasonable. You might be able to find ones that are a little bit cheaper, but the length of the battery and the amount of the luminance makes up the difference. You want that brightness, and that's why I chose these, because they have a brighter vision and a longer lasting battery. These batteries, the newer days, are so much more efficient. So this is my topic of the day. I've been blessed with the opportunity that I've been blessed to dive with y'all. Most people who dive with me on a regular basis know that these are the things that I bring with me all the time. A backup, and I do have a backup battery, battery operated flashlight, as just in case someone doesn't bring one. But a lot of times we don't recognize it, or we don't think it's important, but it's just as important. I want to go in the water the same way and come out the same way, and I want to be seen at all times. So having a light, flashing it, using it, makes people recognize that you're aware of what you're doing, you know what you're doing, and you're able to do it safely and professionally and comfortably. So these are my topics of why I use a diver light all the time. So that's the reason. Any questions, any comments? I think I'm pretty much good. Anything else? Anybody want to know anything else? More than welcome to ask. But
Cortland, are you still on? I don't know if Cortland has lost his signal or not, but if anybody has any questions, can jump right in. Anthony, did I see your hand up, or was that a mistake? Unmute yourself.
Hi, this is just V saying hello, everybody. That's all. V and J.
Hey, baby.
All right. Good to see you, Leon. Yeah, you practice what you preach, bro. That's true.
Yeah.
Over.
The only comment I guess I wanted to make, I know that Brother Leon had talked about a light and going inside of a wreck. That is one of the downsides of having lights, is that sometimes it could tempt people to do things that they're not supposed to do. So if you're not trained to go into an overhead environment, even with a light, please think twice before you do that. That's all.
Okay. I wanted to reiterate about lights failing, because that does happen, and that is the reason that you need to have more than one. Also, rechargeable batteries. Leon, do your lights use rechargeable batteries as well as the USB?
Yes, I do have. That's I do have the older ones that require putting it into a charger. This type requires being in a charger. They still have the ability to last long, but I found that the USB ones, which are the newer ones, the newer design ones, they both fit in these types of lights. They're perfect. They're the perfect interchangeable lights that you can swap out. They make them just on purpose like that, so you can just pop them out, take out the old one that needs charging, pop in the new one, and you're back in business. And this is something simple that you can do on the boat, and you're not fiddling around, because we know the older battery type, those who are divers like diving with the older type, we know 3 batteries compared to putting in one on a rocking boat can be a lot more challenging, as well as the moisture and the ability to do it effectively. It's a big difference.
Okay. Well, I still travel with both. I have the USB one, and I also have the rechargeable batteries, and I also have the charger, and I carry all of that with me in the event that somebody needs something. But Daria, do not let daylight become your enemy, because daylight can soon turn to twilight, and twilight can turn to night.
I heard that. Thank you.
Man, that was the thing that was the thing that I recognized immediately in my diving career of how quick the light can be changed by a cloud, the time of day. I mean, when we was in St. Lucia at the summit, we were diving, especially people who like me, who like to dive in the afternoon. The sunlight dwindles very fast. So you definitely should have your torches prepped and ready to dive with, because we winded up doing quite a few what I call twilight dives, where it's not quite clear, but it's not quite dark. And that created a air of caution and safety because of the ability and not to see as clearly as you would want to. That's why I carry two and a backup one, as Rufy says, for someone who doesn't have one. So it's vital to me to have it with me at all times when I go in the water.
Someone wrote in the chat, can I use any type of flashlight to dive with?
No, you have to use ones designated for scuba, because of the difference is, if you look at this one I just opened and changed the battery, these O-rings, this has three O-rings. These three O-rings prevent the water from getting into the battery and making the battery virtually flooded and broke, and you have to buy a new one. They make them, some make them, like this model has two O-rings to protect it from water leaking in, and regular batteries don't have that O-ring availability. Plus, the alloy in these flashlights are designed for the pressures of going deep. Most of them are good for 100 meters, and some are even good for 200 meters. So when you want to look for a light torch that that you want to use in the water because of the pressure, you want to look for one that gives you those options: long battery life, and can take the pressure to go into 200 meters. Most of them are say 200 meters, and we know what that means. So that's something I can use and take deep with me, and not worry about it failing when I need it the most, when I'm in deep water.
Somebody asked, where do you store your lights when diving? I'm not quite sure what that means. You mean when you're not in the water?
Well,
I
when
take
you're
them
diving, you're not using them. Where do you keep them, in
when
a
I'm not.
pocket, or?
I store them where I store all the rest of my dive equipment, but my dive equipment is stored in the house, so it has access to the air conditioning during the summer and the heat during the winter. I do not store my lights with the batteries in them, and I store my lights open so that they get air. Anybody else?
When I'm on the boat, my lights, when I go in the water, BCs today, the modern BCs and the ones that even a little older, always had storage pockets in them. So what I normally do is I'll take my backup light, the one I usually keep a longer tether with, and I'll store that one in my pocket, and I'll clip it to my BCD pocket, so that even when I do my giant stride in, I know what's inside my pocket and also clipped to me, so that I don't have to worry about it falling out. My other one, that's why the tether is important. I put that around my wrists, and that guarantees that I have it, as well as they make gloves now that you can put it in and harness it right to your hand, so that you're able to still use your fingers and be able to have your light with you at all times.
And be careful that that light is not on a tether, so when you jump in, it comes backwards and hits you in the face. So you need to make sure it is secured.
Thank you. That answered my question. Thank you.
If I can
And
make a, oh, sorry.
no, I was going to say also, when I am not diving, I am also with Ruthie. I clean my lights after I dive each time. Of course, not open. They're sealed, and I wash off the salt water from them. But I also make sure when I'm not diving with them that they're stored with the ability to loosen the connection so that the battery, if they battery sometimes rupture or have a problem with them, if you don't loosen that connection, they can make it, and make you unable to open it up to replace the battery. So if you keep it loose, and it makes it easier for you to replace the battery. A lot of times also what I do is when I'm traveling out of the country with my batteries, I put my batteries in backwards to the light. That way I'm guaranteed that it doesn't accidentally come on in the transportation of that torch in the movement of wherever I have it located. 9 times out of 10, my torches are in my carry-on bag. My batteries are in my check bag. That way, it guarantees if I remember it. Sometimes we always forget, but if I remember, I took my batteries and put them in my check bag. I put my torches in my carry bag. That way, if someone decides to go in my carry bag, they don't have access to my torches, which would mean that I'd be really upset.
Hey, Leon, we got a couple questions here. I think I saw Jay's hand up first.
Yeah, no problem. No, I was going to make a comment, but it was already covered. So go ahead.
Jennifer's question is, should you rinse your light with the rest of the gear in the rinse bucket?
No, I don't do that.
Because
I have to worry. I have to worry. Well, make sure, long as it's tight, yeah, but no, I use the same process I do with my dive computer and my regulators. I take those back up to the room where I'm at, and I rinse them in fresh water in my room. Because in the problem with the rinse tanks is that there be so many different lack of a better word, chemicals that might be in there that where someone doesn't take the same initiative and care that I do with my equipment, and it would cause a potential failure from my equipment by not by allowing other foreign chemicals to reach the delicate parts of my light. So my dive lights, my computer, my regulator, they all go with me back to my room, and I wash them out there.
The caveat to that is that if they have free-flowing water, a hose, you might consider rinsing it right there on site. But other than that, take it back with you.
All right, we had 2 more questions I saw pop up. I think the next one was Mr. Anthony.
I don't see him, Chuck. Where are you?
He did have his hand up at one point. Then the other one was Jennifer Jones.
Yes. Well, you answered a lot of things, but I did want to comment. Those were good tips. I didn't usually when and mind you, I'm newer. Usually when I'm traveling with my light, I'll loosen it, like you mentioned, so that it doesn't connect and accidentally turn on. But I keep the battery and the light together. Usually in my carry-on. Is that a bad practice?
I'm not sure that you can get those back. Can you get those batteries through TSA?
But that's the challenge of that. Technically, nowadays they've changed their ruling on that. They prefer you not carry the batteries in there for TSA purposes. I've made the mistake of leaving my batteries in a couple of times, but what I normally do right now is I have a special pouch that I take the batteries out, especially my backup batteries, and I'll put them in my dive bag, my check bag, to guarantee that that doesn't become an issue. And And again, if I accidentally do it, I make sure that my batteries are in backwards so they don't accidentally turn the light on, and then I get to where I'm going and I have to recharge them all over again because the battery life is not there. And that's how I normally do it. I find it to be the most effective way to guarantee that my light will be functioning and working properly when I need them the most. Because normally when you going somewhere, you're diving that next day, so you have so much on your plate. Getting there, signing the waiver, finding out the dive time, getting all your gear together, getting all that. That's one thing where you could slip through the cracks. If your lights are not charged, you'll tend to have so much going on. So charge your lights before you travel, and also have them ready to go in. And if you don't, put them in backwards. That way you know that they'll be charged and ready to go. All you do say, why isn't it working? Oh, I forgot. I got to put the battery, change the battery correctly. But you'll be ready.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.
And we have something else to say. Vanessa?
I was just mentioning the pouch that Leon's talking about. You can get what they call Faraday cases that you can get them like at, don't want to give Jeff any more money, but Bezo, but you can get them from different places as far as that's concerned. And so you can put like your batteries in there, and that way they won't take that as far
Put
as
that in the
TSA
chat,
goes.
Vanessa, the name that you're saying.
Faraday. Let me spell it right. I don't want to say it. Anthony, you got the spelling on that one? Faraday. It's the same. Faraday. I'm pretty sure how to say it. Yes, FARA and then day bag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can get them at, you can go to Divers Direct online and things like that, but you can get a Faraday bag. Especially I find it like when you're doing these big international travels, like we went to the Philippines. I mean, we were bringing everything with us, and when we go to Mozambique, because you know you're not going to be able to have extra of that. So we're building in an abundance of those, even the rechargeable ones as far as batteries. So we had just a little Faraday bag and just put all the batteries in there. And so that worked out. Again, charged everything up prior to, because you never know how your power is going to be when you get to some places that are out of the way, or if your power outlets are different and you may not have the right wattage or the right adapter. So you definitely want to power up all your stuff prior to you going, but that's something that helps. Over.
Right. That was the thing when we went to Grenada. I was not prepared for the different power outages on the first resort I stayed in. They did not have the design outage plugs that we have in America. And that was a challenge to find an adapter to use. But that is so true. Now, this here is, I have, like, when I'm diving, this is my glove. I put on my hand and I strap it to me. And I was mentioning that where it fits on my hand, and I'm allowed to still use my fingers when I'm diving. And it gives me an opportunity. Of course, this is already strapped around me, but this gives me an opportunity to still use my fingers and point the light to which way I want to go. So this actually came with my torch. This torch, it actually was a part of the package. So you might want to look at that to allow you to still use your fingers and when you're diving. It's very simple, very easy to put on. And like I said, all you have to do is put that around there, strap it around there, put it in your hand, put it on your hand, strap it in. It's Velcro, so you don't have to worry about it coming off. And there you are. You got it tight. You don't have to come off your wrist, and it's on there. And all you have to do is hit the button, and your light is on. And yes, when I go in the water, all my lights are on. Some people say your light's on. The reason why I turn my lights on, because I know they won't flood. And if I forgot to tighten them up before I jumped in the water, if they're on already, then I know that they can be used and they're working, and I can use that light in case of emergency. And this is the other key. If something happens and I drop my light, 9 times out of 10, if the water's not too deep, I know where to go looking at. There's my light down there. And oh, okay, right there, and I see it. I can go reach down there and get it as a backup thought process, because like we were in Grenada, the visibility was very, very poor. And if I did not have my light on and I dropped it, I would not probably been able to retrieve it. But with my light being on, when I'm in the water, it's easier for me to locate it. And if I need to give my backup light to you, you know it's already on, because you don't have to worry about how does it work? How do you turn it on? It's already on. All I'll do is just take the end of it, tether it to you, and now you have a light. Any other questions? Any other comments?
I have one
Everybody
more.
good?
I have
one more in the chat there, Leon. They were asking about preventing backscatter.
Say that again.
The question was, how do you prevent the backscatter that I get sometimes? I'm not sure if that's just using your flashlight, or maybe when you're recording, you're getting backscatter. I'm not sure.
One of the things that I did when I first became a diver and was exciting to me was night diving. All the information that I'm sharing with you is based on my experiences night diving, and the ability to adjust what works best, what doesn't work, were from the opportunities of night diving. In 2017, we were in Belize, and we did night dives. Was one of the awesomest night dives I've ever experienced. We was only in about 30 feet of water, but again, it was at night. So you needed something that had bright luminance, so that not only can you see what you want to see, but others can see you as well, because that is a true opportunity for you to recognize, oh, okay, wow, I like his light. His light is real bright. Where did you get it from? How many luminance is it? That to me made the difference. And the skills that you need when you're night diving, the how you format, how you talk to your dive buddy, how they talk to you. Night diving is a skill that will give you the strength you need to operate your light during the day and twilight and at night. So if you don't have that skill of night diving, I suggest you take that course, because it will strengthen your awareness on using your torches and how benefit of that is.
Thank you. That was my question. Thank you.
Well, I don't know if there's anybody on here who has not done a night dive before, but my first experience with a night dive was with Jay Hagler. Jay had the biggest, brightest light I had ever seen in my life. When I got down there, I thought I could see everything in the ocean. And that just took all of the fright and the fear from that night dive. I agree with Leon, the lights are much smaller, much better, much brighter. But that experience, to me, that light down there was just it for me. I thought I had died and gone to heaven.
Yeah, the newer ones nowadays are so, and even back then, are so bright, it makes you feel like you're diving in the daytime, even at night. But and the challenges of night diving, yeah, it's a little bit, you're in the abyss, as I always say, but that torch, it'll light up the world for you, and you'll be surprised how exciting it is, especially for the nocturnal creatures. I remember one time when I was I was in Belize that trip, and it was an octopus swimming by, and he's nocturnal, and I shined the light, and he immediately went to a coral and blew up as a piece of a coral, but shining that light on made him change colors, and it was awesome. So yeah, that was a really exciting.
Yeah, Ruthie, that was me who said me. I haven't done a night dive yet. Snorkel, night snorkel, but that doesn't count. So, hopefully soon.
What I want to point out to everyone, though, is when we are doing our night dives and we do have bring the sun down, the larger than light. Now, that's clear. Also, let's be aware not to shine the light in the aquatic life, so not in the eyes of the fish or the things that we're looking at. Let's look. It's important that you shine it, away from it, so you can the radiation of the light allows you to see it. So make sure that we also respect, just like in the daytime, we also respect the marine life at night as well. And so that's one of the things. So yeah, having a bright light is great. Also, treating the marine life properly is also a part of that.
I agree. That was that octopus was just a flash. I'm like, oh, and I was new to the world. That was information I did not know about when, oh wow, I never expected that, and but yeah, then I read up more on it. I said, oh yeah, you gotta be, you gotta be aware of there that you're blinding them, and like, oh yeah, I'm blinding them. It's like, like I said, taking the night course will give you the information you need on how to properly operate the lights and maintenance your lights and protect yourself around the underwater life as well. Okay. Okay. Everybody happy? We all good? Everybody, any more questions? I think we got another 10 minutes here for the shutdown time. So anybody else? But the pouch part is really good. Check your manufacturers. I use this one and this model, different models. They do come with that in the package. The little hand wrap makes a big difference. And Vanessa, I want to let you know I found my pen.
What?
Well,
Okay,
I
that's
found
a
my
perfect
pen.
conversation. You're so get me tearing up my car for you. Anyway, whatever.
But I found it. That's cool. Well, you. All right. Okay, family. If nothing else, I guess we'll be seeing each other, mainly those of us who are locally in the East Coast. Lake Hydra is open. We can, all those in my region of Dutch Springs, formerly known as Dutch Springs, is called Lake Hydra now. That's where I'll be doing my training, and we can also train with with your lights there, as well as other aspects of your diving careers. Because right now the visibility is almost like Grenada. So it's almost like twilight diving at Lake Hydra.
Do you have any dates for that?
Not yet. I will be. I haven't sat down this next couple of days. I am going to sit down to formulate my schedule, but the Lake Hydra opens in April, but again, it's going to be cold there. But figuring on the weekends, mostly on a Friday, because the weekends are going to be crowded because it's not like it was when it was Dutch Springs, where they had abundance of tables and ability to park and have a table and get your dives in. I will confirm with the owner, Ken, and find out. Usually he was doing Thursdays through Sundays in by 10 o'clock on Thursday and Friday, in by 8 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday, out by 5 all days. There are no more night diving, no more staying over. Bring your own food. The facilities is there. You still can take a shower, but and you can get air fills. If those of us remember Dutch Springs, know that it's not this FYI, it's not the same. You're diving with your dive instructor. He is carrying all the risk. So dive with your dive instructor and then dive accordingly. Right?
Okay.
Okay.
If there's nothing else, no more questions. Cortland, are you still here? I think we lost him.
Ruthie, read my last statement, if you don't mind.
Who said that?
Jennifer. I can read it.
Read it.
Okay. I just said thanks. I said great information. Let's make sure you tune in March 22nd for our next Saturday Scuba Tips. Same link, same time.
Yes, we already our next safety tip is going to be on mixed gases. The information will be coming out soon. So if you've ever thought about trying mixes or anything, we're going to have somebody to talk to us about who uses those, why you need them, what you do with them, etc., etc. So please tune in next month at the same time, every fourth Saturday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Times, January through October. Got it?
Got it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate your time. And everybody have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks. Have a good one,
Thank
guys.
you, Ruthie. Bye-bye.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See right there.